To most NFL fans, the final pick of the draft is little more than a fun punchline. He's called Mr. Irrelevant, and the joke is that he'll vanish from the league before anyone remembers his name. But every so often, these underdogs upend expectations, carving out surprising careers. Today, we're looking at the last 10 Mr. Irrelevants, to see if being drafted last is really such a curse. Let's dive in to see who flamed out, who fought through adversity, and who completely rewrote the script. 2014, Lonnie Ballentine.
Deceased now, God rest his soul, Sean Taylor. He was a great player, I think, in my eyes, and I watched him a lot. So,
when the Houston Texans selected Lonnie Ballentine at the tail end of 2014, they envisioned molding him into a hidden gem safety. He had the size and decent speed coaches crave, igniting whispers that he might develop into a solid contributor. Unfortunately, injuries came at the worst times, sending Ballentine repeatedly to rehab and off the active roster. Though he made valiant attempts to come back, lingering health issues forced him out of the league. Today, you won't see him on Sundays, but he hasn't abandoned the sport. He stays active in youth football circles, using his experiences to mentor aspiring players who share his dream. 2015, Gerald Christian.
I'm just, real exciting, a lot of emotion. These are a dream that most of us have had, all our lives. So just a lot of emotion and having fun and, just celebrating.
As the 2015 draft ended, the Arizona Cardinals scooped up Gerald Christian, a tight end out of Louisville known for reliable hands and decent blocking. Despite working tirelessly through training camp, Christian couldn't overcome the challenges of sticking on an NFL roster stacked with talent. After bouncing between the Cardinals, the Buffalo Bills, and various practice squads, he stepped away from professional football. Still, he keeps close ties to athletics, offering training sessions and encouragement to those who might also be chasing a long-shot NFL ambition. Though his name didn't land in the headlines for long, his perseverance underscores that draft position doesn't have to define your entire path. 2016, Colin Reed.
Hey Southern Miss fans, this is Kalen Reed, senior cornerback. I would love for y'all to come out Saturday to the Rock and fill it out and make it loud and a great atmosphere for us on our senior day and cheer us on to victory. Southern Miss to the top.
In 2016, the Tennessee Titans used their last pick on Colin Reed, a cornerback whose quick feet and strong college production sparked optimism. But the NFL is a steep hill to climb, and questions about Reed's smaller frame worked against him. He had glimpses of promise, an interception here, a pass breakup there, yet ultimately struggled to solidify a spot on an active roster. Persistent injuries and practice squad stints left him with an uncertain future. Though public updates have been sparse, rumors suggest Reed has considered stepping into coaching, hoping to guide younger defensive backs away from the setbacks he faced. 2017, Chad Kelly.
The most outstanding player of the All-State Sugar Bowl is Chad Kelly.
Chad Kelly generated plenty of chatter when Denver took him last in 2017. Nephew of Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, he had the arm talent, but also a turbulent college record. Hints of off-field trouble kept surfacing, and after more accusations and one bizarre off-the-field incident, Kelly found himself cut. Still, he resurfaced for a short stint with the Indianapolis Colts, and then flirted with various leagues, determined to showcase his strong arm. Whether he'll ever become a reliable NFL quarterback remains a question. If Kelly's journey proves anything, it's that raw skill and bloodlines aren't enough. Discipline and good choices matter just as much for a lasting pro career. 2018, Trey Quinn.
And for Mr. Irrelevant 43, the last selection in the 2018 draft, the 256th selection is for the Washington Redskins, Trey Quinn.
Drafted by Washington in 2018, Trey Quinn arrived with a reputation for reliable route running and sure hands. As a prolific receiver at SMU, he looked poised to thrive. But the pros can be brutal for a mid-tier wideout. He showed flashes early, converting on key downs and earning fans' admiration, only to be derailed by injuries. After multiple practice squad stints, Quinn slipped off the radar for a while. Recent reports say he's still training, hoping for that phone call that might revive his NFL dream. In the meantime, he mentors young receivers, stressing that consistency and self-belief often trump pure hype in the long run. 2019, Caleb Wilson.
Mr. Irrelevant 2019 with the 254th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft is picked by the Arizona Cardinals. They select Caleb Wilson, a tight end from UCLA.
For 2019, the Arizona Cardinals picked Caleb Wilson, a UCLA tight end who led all college tight ends in receiving yards his final year. Critics wondered how a stat leader slid to the last pick. But dominating in college doesn't guarantee pro success, and Wilson found himself bouncing among practice squads in Arizona, Philadelphia, and elsewhere. Coaches appreciate his solid hands and route running, but a stable roster spot has remained elusive. He's been active on social media, posting off-season workouts, and staying ready for any opportunity. His determination reminds us that sometimes you just have to keep knocking until a door finally opens. 2020, Tay Crowder.
Competition level is actually it's at a high level. You know, everybody coming to work every day, and I feel like everybody wants to get better every day. So I think that's the biggest difference of this group, just coming each day and wanting to actually be better than yesterday.
By 2020, fans had heard the Mr. Irrelevant story countless times, another hopeful who might disappear. But Tay Crowder changed the narrative. Drafted by the New York Giants, he wasted no time making an impact. In one game, he famously scooped up a fumble and sprinted for a touchdown, earning NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Suddenly, Mr. Irrelevant became a rookie worth watching. Although injuries and competition have occasionally stalled his momentum, Crowder's ability to turn heads proves that being chosen last in the draft doesn't have to limit your ceiling. Giants fans see him as the embodiment of grit, living proof that final picks can hold real value on the field. 2021, Grant Stewart.
National Football League 2021 draft, the 259th pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They select Grant Stewart, a linebacker from Houston.
In 2021, Grant Stewart took the Mr. Irrelevant crown, going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Known for his relentless energy, Stewart brought a spark on special teams right out of the gate. Coaches love players who give 100% on every snap, and Stewart fit that mold perfectly, racking up tackles and celebrating each one with unbridled enthusiasm. He also filled in as a backup linebacker, showing enough promise to suggest he can evolve into more than just a special teams ace. He's become a locker room favorite for his positivity, inspiring younger players to embrace the odds and never settle for labels like irrelevant. 2022, Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant 2022 with the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State.
Brock Purdy may be the brightest Mr. Irrelevant story in recent memory. Drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in 2022, he was largely overlooked. An average-armed quarterback from Iowa State who didn't wow the scouts. But an injury crisis forced the 49ers to thrust him into action, and he responded with a level of confidence and poise that stunned analysts. He started racking up wins, launching deep throws, and managing games like a seasoned pro. Suddenly, Mr. Irrelevant became the talk of the league. While the jury's still out on whether Purdy can sustain that success over the long haul, his emergence has already given a massive jolt to the narrative that the last pick is just a novelty. 23, Desjuan Johnson.
In the draft, with the 259th pick in the 2023 National Football League Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Desjuan Johnson, a defensive tackle from Toledo.
When the Los Angeles Rams chose defensive tackle Desjuan Johnson at the end of 2023, fans wondered if he'd fade behind star linemen. Yet Johnson showed up with something to prove, using training camp to showcase hustle, footwork, and a knack for shooting gaps. Though his in-game reps have been limited, Rams coaches have quietly praised his work ethic. Analysts digging into Johnson's college film found a player who was consistently disruptive, even if he lacked the blue-chip hype. With the Rams in a transitional phase, Johnson has a real shot to earn valuable snaps. Whether he'll follow in Brock Purdy's footsteps and surprise everyone is unknown, but his early determination points to an intriguing underdog narrative. 2024, Jalen Key.
With the 257th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Jalen Key, a defensive back from Alabama. Good luck, Mr. Irrelevant.
Defensive back Jalen Key was selected by the New York Jets in 2024, and he arrived in the league armed with a highlight reel that showed a fearless approach to tight coverage. Though overshadowed by bigger names on draft boards, the Jets saw potential in his instincts and ability to track the ball. Being the last pick means he'll need to fight for every rep, but that underdog spark can be a powerful motivator. While it's too early to know if Key will replicate Purdy's remarkable jump, insiders say he arrives with a chip on his shoulder that's already turning heads in early workouts. The next few months will reveal if Key can evolve from Mr. Irrelevant to a legitimate asset in the Jets secondary.
Means everything. That's part of the title. You just gotta take it and lean into it. So for me, I'm definitely gonna lean into it, every bit of it. I'm the Mr. Irrelevant this year, and we're gonna make something shake for sure.
So, noting the story of the 2014 to 2024 final draft pick stories, do you agree that Mr. Irrelevant is really irrelevant? Plenty of these players struggled with injuries, roster logjams, or personal challenges that cut short their pro hopes. And maybe it's a little unfair that a player picked so far down the draft board to have such a level of interest and attention directed toward them, simply because they were picked last that year. Yet some, like Brock Purdy, Tay Crowder, and Grant Stewart, turned that final pick label into a platform to prove everyone wrong. Whether it's Lonnie Ballantyne's dedication to mentoring young athletes, or Chad Kelly's relentless drive to resurrect his career, these stories show the title Mr. Irrelevant isn't always the end. It can be the beginning of something unexpected, especially if a player sees the label as motivation. Looking ahead, DeJuan Johnson and Jalen Key have their own roads to travel, and there's no telling what twists await them. The takeaway: an NFL dream doesn't hinge on whether you go in the first round or the very last, for the truly determined draft position can be just a number. Next time someone laughs off the final pick, remember that some of the biggest surprises in football have come from the unlikeliest of places. Thanks for tuning in, and never let anyone tell you a last pick can't make waves.